On TikTok yesterday, I talked about not punishing a new opportunity because of an old problem. And I was specifically referring to relationships, romantic relationships. A lot of times there's heartbreak, it seems inevitable. There are losses, there's anger, maybe some resentment, maybe the kind of pain that causes you to close yourself off, right? To protect yourself. I'm not going to allow myself to be hurt like that again. I'm not opening myself in that same way because I was hurt. They did X, Y, and Z thing to me. I'm not going through that again. Vulnerability, cut. Just no. And then in a potential relationship, getting to know someone, or maybe they've already entered into it, there are these barriers, these roadblocks where there is no vulnerability, there is no openness to explore. And instead of being open to explore, open to allowing someone to get to know us, opening ourselves to feel again, it becomes, no, they're going to have to earn it. Nope, they're going to have to work through all of this and just, basically break me all the way open. When I see that I can trust you 100% and you do everything the way that I need it to be done, unless that happens, I'm not going to allow myself to be open and feel. And I think about, many people, celebrities, even Megan Thee Stallion and the Klay Thompson matter. People open themselves up, and then there's the heartbreak, the disappointment, all of the sadness that comes along if it doesn't pan out the way that they expect. Here's the thing though. We have to open ourselves in order to feel. Otherwise, we're entering in something or getting to know someone with all of these barriers, making that other person work hard because of your past. Heartbreak is real. We want to be with that. We want to be with loss and sadness and grief. That's not easy. No. And it's our responsibility to go in and out of the layers of that and understand who we are and heal and reflect. Were there things that I didn't really want to see even though I saw? Were there some concerns that I had along the way that I thought would just get better? Did I feel like I could compromise? Sometimes when we reflect, we realize I kind of broke my own heart in that equation too. And now this new person is having to work hard to win your love, your trust. They're having to jump over all of these hurdles, go through all of these hoops in order to access you, because you are not going to have that same experience. Here's the thing. You do know that they're not really getting to know you, right? Because you have barriers and blocks and you're being distant and not vulnerable and open, which is how we connect. We truly connect from a place of openness and vulnerability, not from barriers and distance. So then this other person is having to work really, really hard to chisel away at you because of a past heartbreak. It's not fair. And it's also not the foundation atop which to build anything that's going to be beautiful. Because what you're saying is you can come this close, but no closer. You need to love me and like me way more, because I'm just going to be protected over here to make sure that you're doing what I want. Peel that back. You know what's happening? Not only are you doing them a disservice, but you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not allowing yourself to feel, or you're feeling, but you can't show that you feel. All of those kinds of games, the torture that we inflict upon ourselves as we try to balance out feel, but not too much, don't reveal it. Don't say this, because then what if they leave, or what if I get my heart broken? We get one life. Life is our longest, shortest experience. And when we live our lives trying to control and protect all facets of it, we're not really living. We're not feeling. We're not exploring. Yeah, heartbreak may come along more than once. And what do you learn from it? Is there a certain type of person you're drawn to that isn't working out? Are you accustomed to a template that you had growing up, and that's all you know? Are you really getting to know yourself? Because that's important. Sit with yourself and reflect. Read some nonfiction that helps you understand your attachment style, your patterns of behavior, the people you have a tendency to choose that do not serve you well. If you have a history of heartbreak, is there a pattern to that? Or are you the common denominator in the equation? There's so much there. And there's no judgment. This one life we have is alive. It is a breathing organism, which means we're constantly learning, growing, and discovering. And remaining open to life is how we then draw to ourselves the ultimate experience that we want to have. First, are we being the ultimate experience that we want to have? Are we showing up fully the way we want the other person to show up? Because being closed off and protecting yourself is not actually showing up fully. So are you expecting something from the other that you're not doing yet? You have to think about that. And what would make a person want to work hard to access you? Because then what if you finally open up and they actually don't prefer you? They waited all this time to get to know the real you. Now they don't prefer you. And so then they leave and you go, see, that's why I don't open up. It's a sabotage. It's a self-sabotage. But if we can show up fully as ourselves, put ourselves out there using wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment, because, we're not for all people, and we need to see beyond the exterior, right? But if we show up fully, then we are more likely to encounter people who show up fully. And if you show up fully, you'll also be more aware and alert of those who do not. Because in the same way that no one should have to work hard to access you or me, you shouldn't have to work hard to access them. It's all in there. So again, when we're going through something hard that we're having to recover from, like, again, Megan Thee Stallion, I feel for her public emotionality behind it all. Having to face your day-to-day as a public figure where everyone knows this deeply personal thing, this deep vulnerability, that's got to be hard. And when we sit and reflect and hold our heartbreak and get past the anger and the resentment and the blame and reflect on all of the ingredients, that's information. And it helps to heal us. It helps to grow us forward. And it helps to keep us soft. We want to stay soft, tender, not hard and rigid and controlled. We want to stay soft or access softness because perhaps you've never experienced it. That's real. I didn't grow up in a soft household. So for me, it's a constant ongoing accessing it. Again, this life is a living, breathing organism, right? It's important to access the things that maybe you don't really know about so that you can understand the totality of who you are in an ongoing way, because we will never fully understand the totality of who we are. But all of that helps us when it's time to relate, when it's time to see the person in front of us and ask ourselves, is this a good investment? Not, I'm going to close myself off and not be heard and wait until this is perfect and then magically connect and be vulnerable and let it all out. No, put it all out there. Is it a good investment? Ask yourself that. Do I want to invest my time, attention, emotions, thoughts, feelings on this person? Am I willing to invest all of these things on and in this person? And really answer that question, because you don't get time back and you don't want to live in regret. You also don't want to live in hindsight. Some people are hindsight livers, liver-inners. My partner said I have a way of turning everything into a verb. Well, if it works. So yes, some people are hindsight people. They don't see it ahead, but it's always in hindsight, which means you're living by error, mistake, apology all the time. You don't want to do that. You want to have foresight, have insight. Is the person in front of me a good investment? It's like stock. And not from a fantasy place and not from an exterior place, but from an inner ingredients, what you know about this person, their values, how they communicate, how they spend their time, what they're really focused on, all of those things. And then proceed from there. And then they will ask the same of you. Do I want to invest in you? Because maybe I don't. Maybe it's too hard to get to know you and I don't have time for that. I don't get time back. I'm having to jump through too many hoops. I don't want to deal with that. There are so many hurdles. Why? I'm just getting to know you. Why is there so much effort here? It's something to think about. So again, when navigating very unfortunate feelings because of heartbreak, because of loss, because of disappointment, and you're sad and maybe you're depressed, it's just you're in the throes of that where your stomach is feeling away and you can't focus, and then you're angry and then you're sad and all of that. Be with it. Don't try to hurry it along. Don't try to rush your process. Journal about it. Use a recorder. Record yourself talking to yourself about it all. Reflect so that you don't miss something and then take it forward. Because that's what happens. We blame, and we don't look within. Then we miss something, and everywhere we go, there we are. We take it forward. So I invite myself to stay awake and be present. To heal, hold, reflect, in order to remain soft and vulnerable and open so that you don't miss an opportunity, and so that you're less likely to make someone pay for another person's ways of being. Be free instead. And in that way, you draw to yourself the experience you truly want to have in your first being that. We're all sort of stumbling our way forward, finding our footing when it comes to intimate relationships, when it comes to many things. Be not dismayed by mistakes and errors, by heartbreak and sadness, but remain open so that you can experience the fullness of love, of relationship, of connection, of vulnerability, of exchange. It is there. Sometimes it just requires that we stand up and meet it at its own vibration. That's important. That we're aligned on the same path, on the same wavelength, the same vibe. And be mindful not to inflict past pains onto present potential. Be mindful of that. And may you have what you seek. I wish that for you, and I wish it for myself in all aspects of life. May we have what we seek.